What I wanted to say was today in this room we're all video game designers. So I wanted to have everybody kind of stand up and greet each other as video game designers and just say hi. You know, maybe you don't know the next person or the person next to you, but just kind of want to do like a quick little greet, you know? So at first I wanted to kind of throw out that a little disclaimer that please be advised that this is my point of view and perspective on game and level design. I may be missing some pieces and some of you may completely disagree with some of the things I've got to say. So what makes us all video game designers? Well, I'd like to say it's because we all play video games and we have consciously formed opinions on games. Kind of like what you just saw with that video. You know, it's you know, everybody's got an opinion on certain types of games, and I think there's two simplest opinions out there that a specific game is either good or it's bad. And even simpler on that, I'd like to say that it's instead of good or bad, it's fun or it's not fun. And the answer to why a game is fun or not fun, well, that's sometimes not always a simple answer. And I'll go more in depth about fun a little bit later. Whatever answer you come up with is usually based on a design standpoint, though. Now I'd like to give you a quick definition of design. To me, design is form follows function. And that's functionality first and then form. I'd like to give you a little bit of a non-design or a non-game design example, and that would be a fork. So the function of a fork would be to stab and lift food, and then the form would be metal-lined prongs, a slim holding handle, and it's stackable. The definition of a video game design would be that the function would be engagement of playing specific games, and the form would be those specific games on the devices we interact with, and the goal would be entertainment and fun. So design will lay out the blueprint and help us achieve the goal. So when I earlier said that we're all video game designers, I mean that we're all at some point, at some level, a designer. And we've all maybe talked about how a game plays on a specific platform. And I've got a couple examples. I've got a friend who all he plays is RPGs. And he thinks anything that is not RPG is a terrible, horrible game. And we all have formed opinions on specific genres of games that we like, and some games that we just hate, you know. Fun or not fun, pretty much. And he basically told me, and this is like maybe 4 or 5 days ago, he said, if you want to make a good game, you have to take Elder Scrolls and make it a Star Wars RPG. I nodded and smiled. You know, I was like, oh, absolutely. I also have another friend that he plays PC-only games, but he plays a ton of them. And he can talk games all day long. And I've worked with a lot of game industry professionals, and they'll make games, they'll go on lunch, and on lunch they will talk games all day, you know, the whole lunchtime. We'll go back to work, we'll play and work on video games, and then we'll go out after work and talk video games. We'll go home fire up Xbox Live and then play games together, you know, and that is like all day, every day. And so that's a pretty hardcore example of, you know, what some people do, but the more you immerse yourself in games, I think the more that you go in depth and have a good amount of knowledge of, you know, how they play and how you speak about them. So, let's see here. My speech for Level Design 101 is geared towards discussing the basics of the designer's role. First, there's a difference between a game designer and a level designer, and this class is not about how to write and make a whole game. It's how to construct a level and what goes into making that level, but I'll be touching upon both level and game design topics though. I'd like to start my PowerPoint presentation now. Thank you. So, your game. So there's a lot of different types of games out there. One of the first games that I really kind of was interested in was Super Mario Brothers, which is a 2D side scroller. We've got different types of games, like puzzle games, like Tetris, to where it's not going to be all over the place. It's just one screen, but it has engaged millions and millions of people. There's real-time strategy games like StarCraft, and the difference between Tetris and StarCraft is definitely the scope. You know, we're looking at small versus huge side-scrolling worlds and large amount of units. Single-player fighter games like Street Fighter, or hidden object games like Noah's Ark game. I've never played this game, but I found this on the internet and I was like, wow, this looks pretty cool. So I'm going to check this out once I get home. Or a youth game like SpongeBob SquarePants Globs of Doom. Whatever the genre, there's always a blueprint for the designer that creates and a follow to make fun games. So just to give you a little history on my background, I've been a video game designer for about 10 years now. I started working, I went to the Art Institute of California, Orange County. I graduated game art and design, and my first game right out of school was SpongeBob SquarePants, where I was the camera designer. And so I was able to work on this fun game, and after that I started working on Disney Pixar Cars, Racer-Rama, and through the last 10 years I've worked primarily on kids games. I've really, I feign away from the violent games, but I've been blessed to have a good career in the industry. And currently I'm working on an indie project called Pixel Sand, and it's a side-scrolling platformer physics game that I actually will show you a little bit later. So your parameters. Basically every single one of these games was carefully thought through before production even started. And let's take a look at some of the basic rules. This is like the first stuff that I learned in design school at the Art Institute. Scope, scale, and perspective are, some of the very basics of design. And the hook is also huge. And so I wanted to show you that this was Pixel Sand, our alpha engine, and there was no side scrolling, there was nothing. It was just you moved your tiny little avatar and then moved around, and that was the play space, and that was how big we started with. But that's relatively small in scope. Does anybody know what this is?
Planetary annihilation.
Planetary annihilation, which basically you've got worlds that you go back and forth on, and you build up and you create units, and you do battle. And so we're talking about scale of tiny little incremental, puzzle design to huge, huge layouts with massive units and things like that. So your parameters, I wanted to talk about the hook a little bit. So the hook is basically that special mechanic that players identify with. They want to play that over and over again. My family, ever since I was a small little lad, has been playing cards, and only one card game for my entire family's life, and that is San Felipe Running, which basically the hook is that you've got all your cards, and what you're trying to do is if you've got all the right cards in your hand, you get to lay them down, and that's just called splash, and you automatically win everybody. And so everybody's trying to get that. Everybody's trying to beat everybody to that and splash before. And we've been playing that for 40-something years now, and it doesn't get old. We love that hook. Your team, whether you're a small indie developer consisting of two, and that's my programmer Trevor. He's 24. He works at DigiPen as a programmer. He's programming a video game engine for DigiPen right now.
That's a really good friend of mine, Trevor Sundberg.
Yep,
I
Trevor
recommend
Sundberg.
him for anything.
Yeah, I basically was working with them 2 nights ago with our Pixel Sand game. I need to get your name so I can pass it along to Trevor. So we've got 2 of us that are working on the Pixel Sand game right now, or you could have a giant team of 100. And if you're an experienced team, then it could take up to 4 years. This was a picture from, of course, the Cgdc a couple of years ago.
There's me.
Yeah, you would probably know a good handful of people in there. So I actually was working on a game in Georgia. The video game company's called Xavient, and they're putting out a game called Lichdom real soon. I believe it's on Steam, and they've been working on that game for 7 years. It's really amazing how much sometimes it'll go into actually making a game. So I look at a team that needs to have some really core roles, and this would be a designer, a programmer, an artist, a sound designer, and a producer. And one I don't have on here, of course, is publisher sometimes, maybe all the time. This is my programmer again, Trevor. He was working on the mechanic of spray element. So basically, he's talking like if we're doing a side scroller, he was trying to figure out how an animation would rotate, 360 degrees without making it look bad, as an animation. And if you're backing up, and you're jumping up and down, so sometimes we have to walk and talk through certain scenarios. And then this is Monica, his sister, who was actually the artist on that team as well. So one of the huge things, this is my opinion, sometimes people don't believe in game design docs, but I totally believe in them. They're basically, like I said before, the blueprint. It basically sometimes is a 150-page document that the designers and the producers will definitely, touch, and, basically everything that is in that design doc is what goes into the game. What's not in that game does not go into the game. So from story to features to gameplay mechanics, I believe that it was Seth Crofton that came up here with a couple drawing prizes or something like that, and he said, I want you to come up with 4 rules, and I look at those as features. He's looking for 4 features for a gameplay mechanic that you're going to come up with that says, this is what makes my game, So there are certain things in video games like pickups, menus, and inventory systems and things like that to the levels. Some of these are just examples of some of the things that I've had to work with and written up as pieces of design documents that I've worked on. The level designer tools basically transitioning to the specific skill set of the level designer. These are essential to the level designer. I work with Word and Excel all the time and am always kind of on an iterative, what I call an organic process, to where I'll write stuff down on paper, I'll prototype, I'll go back and I'll create it after I get approval from maybe my lead designer or my producer. And then it goes into the game design doc that says, okay, that's what it is and that's what we're making. There is the level editor and the game engine. How many of you have actually worked in a level editor or a game engine? So pretty much the majority of you. Great. Level designer tools, basically part 2. There's a thing called the repository, so that these are incremental builds, so that you're working on something for a day, sometimes it's for a week, and then you and your team goes in and pretty much goes in there and saves your work that you've been working on locally on your computer, so that it goes into like maybe some area like source control or something like that, so that you don't lose your work. And it kind of overwrites it or merges. And that's a really big, important part of game development. So next I'd like to go into the editor of the game that I've been working on recently. Just give me 1 second, please. So there are many different genres of games out there. I'll be discussing the experience that I've had designing levels on the game that I'm currently working on. I've been making Pixel Sand for over 2 years now as an indie developer. And this is a 2D side-scrolling puzzle platformer video game. And this design approach has different rules for different genres. And so I'll talk to you on the level design process that I've been working on recently, but also make sure to compare it with different genres as well. So I'm going to go into the editor first. Just to show you the editor. And to kind of give you just a small walk around. We've got all our resources here. The current tool system will show the way that we can build in our game and in a level. We can move things, we can rotate, we can paint them, and if I select something like this character here, I can go over to the components on the upper left-hand corner, and this is an object in our game, and so you can move it around and place it and drop it in the world, and we have everything from art to code to things that I've asked. Yes?
Sorry if I missed it, but is this all written in-house, or did you start with some sort of editor and then you modified it, or?
No, this is all in-house,
okay,
from the ground up. Trevor is he's programming and from the ground up a video game engine for DigiPen, and so this is a different engine that he's been working on with me for 2 years. And it's all been coded in C#. So I ask for things like dialogue triggers and certain. I've got a big wish list that I go through with him, and he says either "Yep" or "Nope." and then I go back and plead with him. So I created just a fast little level called Cgdc, and I thought that I'd do a bit of a social experiment. So, and I was wondering if any of you would like to help me with it. I need 3 volunteers.
Me.
Yeah? How about you right over there? Yeah. And then you and you.
Why are you hammer me?
You want to rock, paper, scissors for it? Okay, come on up on the stage. So this is what we're going to do, and this is me shooting from the hip. This is just kind of an idea that I had last night, and I was like, go for it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have you be our game designer / writer. So I'm going to give you, hopefully this pen works, and we're going to write on the whiteboard over there. And I'm going to have you, since I actually was talking about this at lunch, I'm going to have you go outside, and we're going to come get you in about 5-10 minutes. And you're going to, we're all going to hide, so he comes in and yeah, so he's basically going to play the game that you're going to make. And this level right here that I just kind of started with, Trevor has a 4-year-old daughter, and she helped me design this level. So this is what I'm going to do. We're going to go ahead and take a look at this real quick. So basically what I'm going to have you do is we're going to put some stuff in the world. And then, but before we put the stuff, she's going to draw the whole thing out. We're gonna basically map it out, and then you're going to draw her map, okay? So
basic platformer here?
Yeah, pretty much. So what I want you to do is I'm gonna have him play it because it's just kind of a blank palette right now.
Okay.
And then I'd like you to draw it out, and we're gonna drop stuff in so that we can learn about pacing, introduction, education, and what the content is.
So don't make the entire set fire.
That's right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have you play it just super fast so that you can remember in your head like what the level is.
Basic obstacles. Oh, so I'm drawing out what he's playing.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
And then you're going to redo it.
and then you're going to redo it by putting in what you think is correct. So we're going to go in there. We're going to play the Cgdc. You can go fast by jumping on the horse, or you can just walk. Now, regular controls are WASD or the up and down arrows. And then if you want to get on the horse, it's F. So don't worry about the stuff. We're just going to kind of run through it real quick. And then if you can just kind of draw it. It's not a long level at all.
That's fire.
Oh yeah. Oh, you know what? We've got water, so if you want to pour that, yeah, if you want to use this cursor and the left mouse button,
This thing really works.
and just keep pouring water, and it'll turn the lava to stone.
You can barely see it, but I'm drawing a crab.
And then that little
Evil
green
crab.
spot there is grass. And if you spray water on it, it'll grow the grass.
Kind of doing
And then
this
if
a
you
little.
get the grass to the fire up there, it'll catch the grass on fire.
Wait, no, that's the
The
grass
water
near
also
third.
puts fire out.
No, I mean not the ground universe, but the fire.
No, And then for a second you were saying the fire's gonna burn, and I'm like, really?
There you go.
Hopefully it won't crash. You got a little bug on
Well,
that.
nobody can see my gloriously drawn evil crab, because this thing barely
I'll
works.
try to
but
fire it up real
It's a
fast.
crab with angry eyes. You can barely see it, but see,
Crab make the horse explode?
Yeah, the crab. Well, we can,
I can draw an exploding horse.
the horse will explode.
I'll draw the exploding horse.
But that's not
This
by
thing's out of
design,
me.
it's just the way it's working. The game's not complete, it's not even in its alpha stage.
This thing's out of me.
Feature.
So let me.
Leave that feature in.
I'm out of big.
Don't say that.
Dude, I'm out of big. Throw it.
You want, you can, you know the trouble.
There we go.
Okay, we're gonna try it again.
There we go. Can I draw like My Little Pony? Like, there's Rainbow Dash or something. There's Fluttershy. I only have black, okay? I'm just saying. Fluttershy.
I know.
Sacrifice the horse.
That was not my design, that was starting the program. He was like, I want the hands up.
Part of the game?
Jump. The level actually, we're making like 4 parts for this game. One of them is multiplayer, one is kids mode, one is single player campaign, and the other one is like sandbox, so you will have an editor.
See, now everybody can see my evil crab. Okay.
There you go, so then you can get by, and that right there is lightning.
Oh.
If you want to equip lightning, use hold down the middle mouse button. It's kind of like Minecraft a little bit, and then select. There you go. And then just strike it at that wall right there.
Oh!
You also threw the break on the other side.
That's okay.
Need water.
Okay, now I gotta draw the pony on fire.
So the 4-year-old girl that was working on this, she said, I want stairs and I want an umbrella under the fish that we just jumped over. And I was like, umbrella? Okay.
Oh no.
Strike it with lightning. Hit it with lightning.
Oh, you know what, the lightning's a great idea, but
Take out the crab.
we don't have it so that it dies quite yet. And so,
The
invisible
crab of
Hey.
Wait,
doom.
so it's the mortal evil crab. Okay, I gotta draw a
So
little
the
bit.
Immortal evil crab of doom.
because you're going to put stuff in, but she's going to design it so that the level.
Don't forget to draw red eyes
Over here with me.
with black ring.
So basically, here's the level that was already in there. And what we need to
Sort
do,
of.
and this is My Little Pony. Right here. But where's the beginning of the level?
Okay, here was the beginning with the water. I can trace over this. It was the beginning, had this little up ledge, there was water there, and you started here. There was like a little tree or something here. Something was there.
Okay.
There's this hill that you go up, and you pass by this cute little cottage. Then there's a big thing of water again in the lake. There's some dips, there's a tree. There's the evil crab that makes you explode. There's that. And then you came down here, and and there's the little thing that you have to set on fire with the thingamabobbit.
Thingamabobbit.
And then you came over here, and then I got distracted by the crab, and yeah.
And then there's basically some stairs up, and then that's it.
And then there's some stairs. Amazing stairs that look very stable when I draw them.
And there's an ice.
And there's an ice
There
beam.
you go.
Ice
So
beam.
they're already
I don't know how I can tell
collaborating
that's
design.
ice, but
Great.
And then there's a door.
it's ice. And then there's a door, a magical door. At the end. It's totally that big in the game. Be quiet.
So I'm going to go to my notes super fast, but I want to talk about game design really fast. when I'm looking at building a level, and this is the level, and I'm talking specific to side scroller in this game right now. There are some things that I look for as, you know, the way to make a game. I'm looking for a great team. I'm looking for great design, fantastic animation, programming, sound, music. But basically, to talk about level design, I need the basic education of a player. You know, to start with, they need to know what this game is, and so they just aren't going in like what's going on here. So the first thing that I started to lay out here was the player starts right here. You want to draw a little stick figure for me?
Sure. He's a knight, right? He has a little sword.
There's some people that want to allow a player to start wherever. And if we drew this out here, that means that you could go left or right. But that sometimes can be confusing to the player. They're like, well, which way do I go? Sometimes they need clear direction on where they're going. We call it fencing, we call it gating. And so this helps them go, okay, I need to go this way. And that's the first form of communication that a designer has with the player. And so they know that they're going to go this way, but they have no idea what it's about. So the first thing that I need you to do to put in this game is, let's put in another little stick figure that has a little thought bubble so that we can help them understand what they're doing. So we need to figure out what that is. Yeah, and a little bit of a sign that talks maybe about story. You know, like, oh, well, I'm in Never Never Land, or something like
Maybe
that.
it would be more sense for the sign to be here and this guy to be by the house.
You want to do that?
Yeah,
Let's do that then.
because you know, he lives in the house.
You should say beware of crab.
I'll add a little sign here that says evil crabs. Here they are. Beware the evil crabs with the angry eyebrows.
So let's do that. Let's start you by going over here real quick.
We got this. In fact, it's a cute little kid who's gonna help you out.
We're going to start by putting
And he's like,
going back into the editor, and I'm going to teach you a little bit about the editor.
I'm Casey. And let's make it a girl.
So we're going to go into levels right here. We're going to click on Cgdc. We're going to go back to the beginning part. And I'm gonna let you drive, okay? Just want to get back to the beginning. So moving things around, you have to hold and click the mouse button and move it around. But here, let's get rid of the horse to start with. So we're going to click on the horse,
No more pinkie pie.
and we're going to delete him.
No more floating
And
horses.
so we've got water that I want to keep in the level. So we're going to just move that over a little bit, okay? So I'm going to click on move and move it over. And what we want in the world is what we call an archetype. And so we're going to look for dialogue characters. So click on that, hold the mouse button over that once you click on it, and drag it into the world. And drop it in. There you go. Perfect. So now what you want to do is you want to click on the little components button, and then scroll it down to dialogue trigger. Click on that one. There you go. And then click on that text right there, and it'll turn all blue. And then you can just move it around and then just delete all of that stuff. We're just going to write some text in there so that when he comes back in, he's going to read it, hopefully. And then he's going to receive that kind of information. Now, as a game designer, what do you want to write?
Well, you got a crabs. Well, if it's going to be up there, probably watch out for evil crabs, evil
Okay.
mortal crabs, because.
Well, first of all, I think we want to introduce him to the world.
Oh yeah.
So-
What's the book called?
I don't know. What do you want to call it?
Well, we can name it after that game idea I have. It's Rokita. Call it
Rokita? Then we can say, hello, welcome to Rokita. You can type that in.
More majestic than that.
More majestic.
Welcome to
Thou
the mystical land
Thou,
of
thou young traveler, welcome to this.
mystical land of magic Pixelopolis.
Yes.
That sounds like city.
I'm not good at names.
Go ahead and just put,
It's the
go ahead and just
Dunes of Doom.
R-O-K-I-T-A for now. And then just R-O-K-I-T-A. And then put an exclamation there for the magical part.
Is that a girl? They got legs.
And then,
They got really long legs, so we gotta draw them like this
so
tall.
the next thing you want to, I want you to do is press the semicolon. The semicolon means that this is going to be the next line of text or dialogue. So you can now type in, how about we say something like, ahead of you is the magical blue water, where you can pick up the blue water and spray it. So, because we want to let them know that that's something that you can pick up and you can actually use it. Or else he's going to walk by and never know what that is. And that's a fundamental rule of level design is if you're going to put stuff out there, the player can sometimes, they'll run right over it and not even know what it's for. Yes?
Along those lines, when do you give them clear directions? When do you let them play and try?
Well, at the very beginning, it's called balancing and pacing. And so we're going to give them maybe just a little bit more instruction at the beginning, just so that they learn. That first part where I said basic education of the player, basically what this game is introducing them to the world and what they can do. And then we're going to say, go ahead, now explore.
It'd be kind of like how you don't really give people all their freedom until they learn to walk and talk and handle basics of life, right?
Yep.
And then you let them leave the nest,
Exactly.
like raising a child.
So what are you writing now? Did you say?
I will make this comment to you, like, Liz.
Yeah, so go ahead, water and spray it by using
I
the
have
left
the
mouse
story,
button.
you scroll to the right, I have it leading to the right, and you see like two little
You got it, so I
dialogues
did, and then just
that
hit
tell
by.
like what you have to do.
Yeah, that's good.
When Matt played it,
Perfect.
he is so used to this that he's got all his basic gameplay from other games that he's totally skipped over reading that. He goes back the other way. Her toucan says, if you want to find your cheese wheel, you have to cross the bridge. And he's like, why do I need to find a cheese wheel? I've got a cheese wheel right here.
So now that we've got the lovely princess in the world,
Even in instructions.
Okay, she's a princess. I gotta make her first perfect.
there you go. Then we're gonna pick up the water, and they're gonna know that they can spray it. Okay. Maybe we should put another. Maybe we should put another princess in the world a little bit later to say this is what you can spray at.
I was imagining a little girl villager by the huts.
Okay. Well,
Because those huts are there, and it feels like there should be somebody or something around
that's a
it.
great idea. I like it. So let's move over.
At least if you can't go inside, because otherwise if I saw huts in the middle of nowhere and no one even outside, I'd be
Why
like,
is
take
there
away,
like a
take
little
away.
mini one?
I'm going to get to that definitely
You want
real
to make a
soon.
hut?
Well, matter of fact, I'll talk about it right now. So another thing that a game designer, level designer needs to know is what I call world metrics. World metrics is if you're going to put something in the game, if it's too small, you're going to try to get in the door, and if it's this big, you're never going to get it in. But if the hut is like 900 feet tall, it's the wrong metric for the game as well. So you want to make sure that the door frame is as big as the character, and that's sometimes 2 meters high in game metrics, so that you fit through that door, and that you don't have trouble with that. Because if you have too big of huts and too little huts, people are going to get confused and be like, why? And when we're talking about tuning and balance, sometimes if a game is too simple at the beginning, they're going to put the controller down. If the game is too tough at the beginning, they're going to put the controller down. So you need to balance it right perfectly so that you're not giving them too much stuff, like even when you were asking like how much content should you be giving at the beginning, we've got to balance it. You got to learn how to get it just right. So as we get over here, we want another princess so that we can say, you can spray this and it will affect this type of thing. So let's, if you'll do me a favor and grab another dialogue character and drag it over wherever you want. And then you can move her wherever you want. Okay, so now let's click. I'm actually gonna, just because this game is still a little bit buggy, I'm gonna have you file save it. Yes, there we go. And then go to this text right here. And if you'll do me a favor and delete all that stuff and just write in, you can spray water on the grass I'm standing on and it'll grow. So the other things that I'm looking at as a level designer is presentation of the player space. So maybe this is too much. Maybe there's just too many cuts here. The player may just be like, this is stupid. Or they may say, genius, this is a village. You know? It's all the perspective on what you want to try to convey to the player. The next thing that I look at is story and direction, or the rules. So that's where you basically were coming in and saying, welcome to Ropita, here's the kind of direction that I want to give you. And we're all working on pacing.
Princess Longlegs.
Yeah, Princess Longlegs balancing right now. So what's the next part that we want to add stuff to? Let's go to here, where one of the things that I'm trying to teach the player is jump. I know that sounds kind of stupid, but jump is a giant, huge thing in video games. How far you can jump, you know, and what you can jump over. So far, without any kind of design direction or anything, we've already learned that the crab will blow you up. So jump over the crab. Jump over the lava, jump over the water, jump over lots of stuff. So let's go to the next part. And I think this area is a pretty cool thing. Once he touches the crab, he's going to know not to touch the crab anymore. So we don't need to give him, I don't need to think, we need to give him any direction. Let's let him learn it. So as we move along here, I wanted to talk about what you put in a game and what you do not put in a game. I'd like you to put something in the game that we should not put in the game. How about a station wagon? Go ahead and click on that and drag it over.
It makes the world much more interesting, though. Maybe it's a post-apocalyptic world. Especially if you sink it into Sandal, it'll look like it's post-apocalyptic.
That's true. So there's some people that would say, why not station wagon?
Because it can't jump over the crab.
Well, well, not only that, but we're going to learn the hard way that you can't jump over the lava in a station wagon. And in the world of bedazzled, I'm sorry, what was your name?
Oh, me?
Kelly. One of the things that Kelly has already set us up as a game designer on is this is a fabulous world of sparkling, fun stuff. So station wagons shouldn't necessarily fit within our story.
Still, there was, Adventure Time does a good example of that by making it post-nuclear war, and they have tidbits of that. Just pointing out as a story writer that you can get away with anything, you have a reason for it.
Yes, there can, if it works within the,
Yeah,
if it works
if it
within
works.
your genre.
But
So
this
now,
is a very steeple fantasy land. And that's
yeah, so now we've got something that he's going to, he's going to run across, but he has no idea how to get into this. So I'm going to have you, instead of putting a person in there, let's scroll up and we're going to put in at this dialogue trigger. Grab that and drop it in on this side of the station. Oops, that was the wrong one. Go ahead and press editor. Oh, you know,
I did.
Drown Princess Longlegs.
okay. Go to editor right there. The one over here, actually. There you go. And then click on delete object. There you go. So now we'll drag.
This is so cool that a kid can get a platformer using this.
And then bring it down a little bit. Perfect. And now let's add this. You can say press F to enter awesome station. F as in Frank. So as he's doing that, we talked about pacing and balancing. We also want to look at reward of completion of challenges. You know, everybody loves the reward, the candy, what's that final piece? I'm getting coins, I'm getting pickups, those are fun things that people like to pick up. So basically what we're doing is, after this level is done, we would move on to the next level that would be similar, but we would add a variation of complexity to it, right? Because if it was the same thing over and over again, we're done. Our brain needs something new to chew on. So now let's move over, and you basically said, get in the station.
I also kind of want to know why he's fighting the evil crab people.
Yeah,
Because the evil crab people are the minions of the evil dragon.
Or a giant evil crab or something.
Now, that's what I would put in.
But why does he care?
I would put that at the very beginning. It might be too much for a player to take in, because they want to already get going. They want to get moving and do something.
How about like just the giant crab emperor stole your left sock? Go get him.
You know what it would be? It would be, somebody said cutscene. It would be a cool cutscene to do before you even jumped into the game to tell a little bit more of the story.
I guess I was thinking like with Super Mario World 3 where they just have a dialogue box at the beginning
Exactly.
and you're done.
So what I would like you to do next, and what was your name? Caleb? Okay, so what I'm going to do, you can learn all about this stuff. He's got water, he'll be able to figure it out. And, I do want to tell him about lightning. So let's do one more little, let's do like one more sign right there. Yeah, and say, let's do, yeah, that's perfect right there. And then go ahead and just type in, use your middle mouse wheel to change to lightning. So we're at the point to where we want to allow the player the opportunity to master strategy by learning it. Has anybody ever heard of the aha moment?
Yeah.
So when I give kind of like a definition of like fun, what fun is, I'm not. There's a lot of different versions of fun. There's the nerds out there, which is me, that will stand in line for a game the night before, just in anticipation of it coming out. That for me is fun. It's stupid, but it's fun. But when you're playing a game, you don't fire it up and you're going through the menus like, this is the funnest thing ever. Even when you're playing it, if you're running through this part of the level, this part right here may not be fun at all. I think there's those aha moments to where you hit something like the crab and be like, aha, okay, that is cool and I'm going to master that. I know to jump over it. And the next aha would be, I know how to destroy that thing, which can't do that right now, sorry. Yeah, exactly. So let's move on to the final area, and then we'll bring him in and see if he can actually navigate this. So we're up the stairs. He can figure out either lightning or water to use that. But this time, I want to talk about player space and the navigation of player space. So you see that little crab right there? That is right there. That's our little AI guy. Let's drop in about 5 of those.
Yeah.
And the dragon.
And a dragon. That'd be awesome.
And make one of them huge. The giant crab emperor
There's
stole
a
the sock.
dragon and all the crabs are the minions of the dragon. And the dragon and his crabs are attacking your village. That's why you need to keep them.
Yeah, that would be awesome. We've even talked about a dragon in our So I think that's enough. What do you think? Just one more.
One more.
And
And a helicopter.
Maybe next time. So let's So let's hit save. And we're going to just play it ourselves before we bring it in, okay? Just to see what it's like. Save, close it out, and then good to go. Fire it up.
All right,
Let's see what it looks like.
let's see this. Someone go get
Oh, it's a little muddy. So it's
That's how she gets
too big.
Princess Longlegs has set you on a quest to defeat the evil crab demon.
Try pressing enter. Maybe, did we put more text in there?
We did.
Go ahead and hit enter. Does it do anything?
Oh, it's just.
Okay, I think
Try
that's it
pressing
for that
down.
one. Okay, let's move on to the next one. Oh.
This jumps over.
And he didn't break his pencil.
Oh, slushing crab! No, the crab! No! Kind of swimming animation. Press F to get the station mark.
All right. Let's cross the fingers, everybody.
Oh, oh,
I can't.
How are you still alive? Are you still alive?
It's a bug, I'm sorry.
You fell out of the water. He's still on fire.
Give him a hand. Let's bring him in and see. We're going to hit the station where we're going to have to take it out, and we'll maybe once he's done, we'll swap it out with the horse so we can get by and at least get to the end.
All right. Welcome back, Alpha Chester.
How can I break your game today?
Don't worry.
You more than crafting and steal your stuff. You gotta stop it. I'm sticking with that story until there's an
Okay,
official.
come on up here.
Alright.
I'll just give you the basics of the skills. We're going to start you here.
Maybe you can figure something out from the awesome
And
strategy guide now that
WASD
that's
is
totally
basic. Your
accurate.
mouse, you'll be able to get some direction.
Are we gonna go full screen?
Oh yeah, you can hit full screen.
It's Princess Longlegs. You broke it.
I think F or enter is maybe take you to the next one. There you go.
Why is the P not capitalized? Why no capitalization?
That's the right.
It was a design element.
We need you to get into that little hut there. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Oh, this is good.
How much time flood the world?
Look at you swimming! You're swimming! Oh, I'm gonna cry! I love his legs. They're just like legs. Everybody's got
They're
really
like little
long,
rubber
skinny
bands,
legs
huh?
in this world.
Oh, I got check board just in case I drown or something.
I don't think you can. Can you drown?
Flood yourself. It only takes 3 inches of water, right?
It's Princess.
Why no capitals? Or periods? Where's the period?
It's Princess Longlegs' sister. They're sisters. They were the Longlegs sisters.
So
They
why
were-
am I causing grass to grow?
Because it's pretty.
Because you sprayed water on it. So I can give jobs to little boys and girls.
I love those houses.
They're just
It's pretty. Gosh. They're magic houses.
Alright,
Look at the particle effect.
Oh, no falling, damn it. What?
Die.
So I think that's about it for the demonstration.
Hey, you're gonna get the station wagon!
I'm gonna stop. I think I don't go yet. Oh, did I hit the cord?
You didn't even get the station wagon.
We're gonna swap up the station wagon with a horse. So that we can
Doesn't
get you
count.
past.
And it's lost, but to find it.
Is it a little janky?
So that's how you feel like carry them above you. They just land on the top.
It'll probably take a minute.
Next time, use my awesome strategy guide map. This totally helps, doesn't it?
So we're gonna get rid of the station wagon. That's just it's not gonna happen.
Water. I don't, there's no part where I spray to the crowd and it's falling up and it lands on me.
You actually figured that out. Either of us didn't have it. But it's
Why does it grab? Where's the end of flame?
because it's an immortal crab demon from the immortal crab demon army.
It's a fire
It's on your
trap.
left sock. Why is nobody supporting this storyline?
Because the grab and
No, the secret is they're actually trying to save you because the left sock is the evil
Why do
boss.
they have to look over them if they're evil?
They're immortal!
So they're angels.
No! Well, they're fallen angels. They're bad. They're bad, but they're immortal. So
Why do they not like ponies?
They blow up ponies!
That's why we swapped out the pony for a station.
Well, while we're working on technical difficulties, I'll talk really quickly and then we'll get back into finishing that little demo.
Great that you had a play tester involved there, because that's one thing that I found is very valuable.
Yeah. Prototyping is invaluable for a game designer. Sometimes they call it gray box prototyping, sometimes they call it white box prototyping, but what I'll do as a designer of a level is I'll start on paper. I like to use pen and paper, and then what I'll do is I'll go into Photoshop after that, and I'll draw it out with, and some fancy, color. And then I'll go into the editor, and I don't need to have flowers and all that other stuff. I literally just need a square little area to say, I want to try to make this puzzle. And at least for the game that I'm making, you can draw wood there, like I think you saw or something like that. And if you have fire, you can burn it, and if you have water, you can douse it. So you've got a lot of combinations of the way you can set up puzzles and how you want the player to approach it. Sometimes they need to go around, they need to do two things to set it up. And that also works on a lot of different types of genres of games. You get a pickup and you switch over to another tool to do something different, which is really cool. We use tools, pickups, and playable space to gain advantage, because what we want the player to eventually get to is to master the play space. And that's really important, because if they don't master the play space, then they're not going to want to play it. So let me jump back in really quick and get the horse on there.
The building was just built to exist?
Yep.
Can it be pink?
Huh?
Can it be a pink horse?
I don't have that ability right now. I'm sorry.
Because I drew Pinkie Pie, and now I'm just in My Little Pony mode.
Okay, so let's get rid of the station wagon and bring in the horse.
I guess I feel bad because I made it my favorite pony and then it got set on fire.
Well, if we did a helicopter, I'd just fly right over the rest of the stuff. So,
I just realized if I did make it Pinkie Pie, I'd feel really bad when it got set on fire.
but you know what I will do at the beginning? Do you want to come up and finish playing it?
Oh, come on.
Yeah, come on, dude.
And I now know to avoid running into the crab because I said speak on fire for all eternity.
Well, what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna give you the helicopter so you can get to the place. Let's move her up just a little bit.
He's gonna crash it.
And then move into.
It's gonna be fun.
Baby, it's all good.
You are a good game designer. You're beating him. You're a master.
Get those.
I've already added the version.
Just-
Yeah, let's do
Yeah, you're
that.
ahead of me then.
Thank you.
Dude,
All
you're
right,
ahead of me.
good.
This
You ready?
kid knows coding?
So what I'd like you to do is take the helicopter, fly over to that area where you died previously, past the lava. Yeah, he's gonna pick up the water on it. So now let's fire it up. Matter of fact, once we get to that waterfall that you fall down and the crab's right about there, let's just bring the copter down there so that we can take it, so that we can walk through the rest of it.
This really is such a super cool game.
Still no punctuation.
He's gonna die. He's gonna die.
And I can still release water.
Forest fires. Yeah.
Oh,
Get in, crash and set on fire. Oh, he's getting the crab! The crab's right there!
good luck.
What are you doing?
How are you?
What are you doing? Why did you get out? Why did you get out? Why did you exit? Get back in the chopper!
Get back to the chopper.
I have to get to the horse.
The horse is named Station Wagon. The horse is named Station Wagon.
There's grass below you. Hey,
You can get back
Make
and
a
get off the
monster
horse.
shaped out of grass.
Just burn the.
Let's just make a bridge that goes over the lava out of grass.
Oh my gosh. Can you actually do that?
Jump on.
Oh, this will be.
Yeah.
Climb it now, climb it.
Find the beanstalk.
Close.
Need more water.
I need.
Water power.
Hey, we gotta wrap it up in a couple minutes, so try to burn it.
Stop being so bad at this game.
It's a good idea.
Crash and burn.
Okay.
So I'm gonna take it over really fast. I'll just play it really fast, and then I gotta finish up. So.
This has really been fun.
It's not my fault your game crashed.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that.
You're not the first one to crash it.
I'm going to drive it.
Yeah, I crashed it.
Yeah, he crashed it. And I crashed everything.
I'm just gonna
I
move the
crashed
player over so that we start after the arcade dive. So
Can't you just take the helicopter?
I could.
Take the helicopter.
Take
All
the
right, I'll
chopper.
take the helicopter real quick.
Hell yeah.
Get to the chopper.
Get to the chopper.
Get to the chopper.
Get to the chopper.
Everybody say it at the same time. 3, 2, 1. Get to the chopper. Yeah!
All right, here we go.
Yeah.
Full screen.
I believe I can fly.
If you crash,
Yeah. He crashed it, I crashed the helicopter.
What happens if you leave the helicopter mid-flight?
you just fall.
You just jump out and it keeps flying.
What happens if the helicopter gets a crash?
I think the helicopter will die.
Oh man! Dude!
We're gonna get right here. Okay, let's see what happens. So I don't have lightning, but I can still get through the ice by melting it.
You should use a fire, you should put a fire because it's not ice.
Maybe you walk across it.
Oh crabs! Shoot!
Carry the crabs to the water.
Game designers, I love the designers. Thank you so much for your time today. And I gotta wrap up, so that's it. So,
Driving later.
okay.